Kimberly Rice, and you are tuned into the Secret Sauce Marketing Tasting Show, the groundbreaking podcast for business bosses, professional women, and anyone who is hungry to learn how to create the career, business, and life of their dreams by charting their own course. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining us to another episode of Secret Sauce Marketing Tastings. This is Kimberly Rice, your narrator and editor for this legal marketing and business development podcast. Our topic today is relationship building, getting and staying connected. I have spoken hundreds of times on this topic in front of audiences of all sizes. And I mention that to iterate that if you are in a service business, that the cornerstone of the prosperity of your business is relationship building. And some folks resist that, unfortunately, and some folks embrace that. But I can tell you for sure that it is very challenging to build, grow, and sustain a prosperous business if you resist taking proactive steps in developing solid relationships. So I'm going to give you some tips and actionable items in our episode today that you can use as soon as you hop off the podcast here today. So number one, I have a favorite quote, and this comes from John Maxwell, who's a very well-known author and business management coach. People don't know how much you care. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so whether it's in legal services or financial services or accounting or banking or architectural or engineering or something completely different. Photography, for example, is a service. The way to attract clients is to demonstrate over and again how much you care about their business goals, their needs, etc. And so some of the things that we take for granted is getting and staying in touch with our existing network, our existing clients, and our existing referral sources. Cannot be overestimated the care and nurturing that is required to stay in touch with these folks. And there's many, many ways to do that, and I'm going to outline those in just a moment. But whether you've just graduated college, law school, your MBA, or you've been out for 40 years of your higher education, the same principle applies, is that you must consistently cultivate and nurture relationships that have the reasonable expectation that is a benchmark to develop into either client retentions, reliable referral sources, or solid connections for those aforementioned items. And so one of the things that is imperative in the relationship building process is, the more that you invest yourself into this relationship building process, the wider your network will become, the more seeds that you will sow in the strategic fields, and this is all figuratively, and then the more sowing and reaping that you'll see. So how does that break down? I often am asked the question, so how many hours a week, month, year should I be investing in marketing? And if you're in a service business, again, you can define that as marketing, business development, relationship building, however you define it. There's, of course, no definitive answer. In this case, building, growing, and sustaining a prosperous business, more is more. The more time you invest yourself strategically getting in front of qualified targeted prospects, clients, and referral sources, and that you're leveraging those opportunities in person, digitally, telephonically, in so many different ways, having all of the tools at your disposal, the marketing business development tools at your disposal, which has never been easier than it is today with all the marketing technology that's available to us in the form of apps and email marketing programs, inbound marketing programs, search engine optimization, etc., etc., etc. But what does it mean to get and stay connected? In all of my legal marketing career, I have yet to encounter more than a handful of professionals that really got this point. So, starting with this widely known statistic that it requires to build relationship, it requires at least 7 to 10 touch points to reach that top of mind awareness status. You need to have a plan and not an ad hoc when I remember to do it type of approach. So many people work, most businesses work still in the Microsoft Outlook email program, even using your calendar in that program to set yourself reminders, to use it as a CRM of sorts. Some folks use an Excel worksheet and go to that, but you need to have some type of tracking mechanism in order to stay on point and keep in touch once you've made contact. And so one of the questions that I'm asked a lot is, who is it that I'm actually trying to stay in touch with? First and foremost, your clients. Why are you staying in touch? Because you want to provide and send the message that you care about them and their business. How do you do that? You learn as much as you can about their business, their industry. What are the challenges, the opportunities, the threats, etc., with respect to how they are in a position of strength or not, and how you can help them. Industry and professional contacts. That means, if you're part of a professional association or some type of community organization, Rotary. I don't necessarily recommend that for business development, but very targeted ways that you can get in front of qualified prospects. So, for example, if you practice in an area, let's just say you're a commercial real estate lawyer, your qualified targeted prospects in that arena may very well be commercial real estate investors, brokers, construction company owners, CEOs, CFOs, CIOs, COOs, those folks, architectural firms, engineering firms, all those folks who to work together in the construction industry. There's a plethora of professional construction industry associations and organizations. Never a shortage of any of those. And so if you're not already a member, or you're not already getting in front of them as a featured speaker, keynote presenter, or an author, or a guest blogger, or a guest podcast on someone's show, these are various outlets. These are various touch points that you can take proactive steps to engage with those audiences that are in a position to either retain you or to refer you to someone who can. And so that's very, very important with relationship building. And so when you outline precise steps, it does take some assembling, organizing, categorizing your contacts which is very, very important as far as the relationship building process, so you can keep track of who you're reaching out to, how often, in what way. Obviously, in-person contact and meetings are paramount of high impact touching per se. But then you can follow up with other types of connections. So, for example, to follow that logic of a real estate lawyer, you would want to set a Google alert for your area geographically to stay abreast of what's going on in your region in the commercial real estate field. I mean, is your area having a construction boom or redevelopment boom, or is it, going the other way where it's dry, all the work is drying up, or there is a commercial real estate glut market. And so these are things that you want to stay abreast of so you can continue to keep your clients, existing clients, prospective clients, referral sources updated, so they begin to see you as the go-to person of what's going on in their industry. That's extremely valuable. If you think about what, the emails or alerts that you receive that you have come to expect and that are, very concise and succinct information that helps you do your job better, I'm sure there's at least one or two people that you receive or organizations that you receive messages from that you've come to rely on or you look forward to, that is high level thought leadership, maybe trends, emerging trends in your area. And so it's one of those things that is an opportunity for you to position yourself as a thought leader and demonstrate your motivations and to demonstrate, your expertise. And so one of the things that I see clients and prospect clients really get hung up on is, and they kind of get, analysis by paralysis, is they don't think people want to hear from them. What is it that I'm going to say to them? They're busy. They don't, I don't really have anything to say. Well, becoming informed and better read about your clients' businesses is going to give you information to disseminate and or analyze and communicate and relay to your target audience for all the aforementioned reasons. But ultimately, it's not about you. You need to stay in front of those clients and prospective clients and referral sources to build that top of mind awareness. And so when the opportunity for the need of your services comes to light, then the prospect client, has your name on the top of their short list. And so we understand how busy folks are. They're consumed with the work that they have, often logging their time in 6-minute increments, etc. But as I was expressing to one of our junior partner clients earlier this week, the more experience one has in one's profession and develops a reputation and relationships within that sphere, the more likelihood and the probability that your clients and your referral sources will now become part of your social circle. And so it's not like having to take off one hat and put on another hat. And so that's one way to optimize your time, is to be very, very purposeful in your communication, in your touches. And sometimes, of course, that could mean, taking a referral source to a favorite ball game or to a, performing arts event, etc., whatever the two of you may enjoy doing together, or giving tickets to that person for his or her partner. Leveraging technology has never been easier than it is today in building relationships that lead to conversions for paying clients. There are so many solutions. There's the blog posts, there's the podcast, there's the webinars, there's the e-newsletters, there's all the digital publications. The number one key is to make sure that you are in front of the right audiences.